By providing models in dance, we can provide concrete examples of practice, ensure our students work safely in the studio space, and guide students in their own practical outcomes. For this short presentation today, we're going to look at how we begin to share the concept of choreography with our students. To avoid cognitive overload, we're going to first focus on creating a motif from a stimulus. The stimulus we're going to use is time. We begin by looking at the picture of a clock and reading through the poem. I would then begin to discuss and share any ideas that I might have. Let's take, for example, the clock face. It has a circular shape with circular pathways, straight lines in the idea of the numerals and the hands. There are Roman numerals, but we also have numbers on a clock face. What are the shapes of those numbers? How do the hands move? Do they all move in the same way? What other clocks can I think of? A pendulum clock with a pendulum that swings backwards and forwards. Alarm clocks that you have to annoyingly turn off because they're so loud. Are there any words or phrases from the poem that stand out? I like ebb and flow, the idea of one way and back again. Tick-tocking, there's short, sharp actions. Open and close. Chime, the idea of something knocking against something else. At this point, you have modelled the starting point of choreography using the I do principle of instruction. You can now allow your students to work with you to share and discuss any ideas that they may have. This will also allow you to check for understanding before modelling the next part of the choreographic process, checking that any answers they offer relate directly to the stimulus. From the ideas I have gathered, I'm going to select some keywords and, as you can see, put them in a table so I can identify clear actions, space and dynamics. This table is going to help me translate my words into the motif. So now I would go through with my students how I take the words from the page and transfer them into movement, speaking aloud my thoughts and the process as I work. So I'm going to start with the idea of hands, clock hands. I really like that, and I really like the idea of the circular and linear pathways because they're great movement words. So I'm thinking 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. So that's quite nice for shapes, isn't it? 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Really great and strong. So I would look at that. But then, hang on, I think, is that really, clocks don't do that. That's not a clock type movement. So let's rethink that. What's a typical clock shape? And I'm kind of going towards this as a shape. I really like that. And actually, already in my body, I'm doing this to get into it. So I'm going through that linear pathway to make that gesture. So I'm changing my mind because I'm on a creative journey and I'm getting rid of this and I'm going to this. And then I really like the tick-tock idea. So I'm going to go from here and I really naturally want to do that, but I still like this pendulum. So let's still try and keep part of what we do and use it. So we're going to go here and tick round into pendulum. Like that, that's really got a really nice feel to it, and already I think that links really nicely with my stimulus. Now I'm still for that first bit, so I want to move, and I feel like I want to do that circular pathway like the face of the clock. So I'm going to actually just move in a circular pathway. But take it to the corner so I'm not facing the front again. I've got different facing then. So let's put those together and see if they work. So I'm going to go clock, tick-tock, pendulum. I don't like that now. I liked this a moment ago, but now I'm trying to link it to this movement. It's not working. So I'm going to think of something else because I still like these gesture here. Tick-tock round. Oh, hang on. What if I take it? Yes. So if I go here, tick-tock here, which is still the pendulum shape, but it feels like it could pull me then to my circular pathway to the corner. Great. So like that. So we're going to adapt that, refine it, use it. Once we're here in the corner, I really want to keep that kind of clock thing going with the pendulum. And I like this swinging idea. So we could go back to the pendulum, kind of catch the pendulum again and swing. However, I'm also now thinking, I've been on my feet so far, standing for the whole piece. I need to use that high-low. I'm going to take it down to the floor. So as I catch my pendulum, I'm going to drop to the floor, which would be really nice. See what naturally happened then? As I swung my arm, my leg came back as well, which means I would put it into a different part of my body, and that would really work. So, we have clock face, catch it, round to our circle, catch the pendulum, drop, suspension moment with our pendulum, and we've created a motif.
So points to consider. Chunk the challenge to help avoid that cognitive overload. Check for understanding at each stage. Follow the I do, we do, you do strategy and remodel if necessary. Share your thought process as a creator. Allowing students to share your metacognitive process will help them to understand that creating a new piece of work does not mean having to use the first idea or ideas that they have. And use analogies to help understanding. Liking choreography to the art of cooking, for example, may help students to access the task with better understanding. Consider how when we select ingredients, when we cook, we mix them, we taste, we adjust. Choreography is just a similar process to that. By modelling your practice, we want to give our students the confidence to take creative risks in the studio space.